Hey guys, what's good? Welcome back to the channel. Finally, I made it back after a bit of a break. I don't know what it was a break from. I guess a break from the channel. It's grown a little bit since I've left, which is cool. I didn't really leave. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just get into the video, okay? Let's just do that. Your favorite car show is probably either the old Top Gear, what is now the Grand Tour. I don't know why I did this. That's actually what it's called, the Grand Tour. The show premiered a few years ago, starring Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond. Everyone's three favorite car content creators. Can you call them content creators? I don't want to call them journalists. They kind of are, but you know, they also make shows for entertainment. So, I don't know, car media people, let's just say that. Obviously the show is pretty much an international hit at this point, since the three of those guys, anything they do is pretty much like digital gold, really. There have been 4 seasons officially, but today I'm gonna rank my order, I guess, in which I would say they're my least favorite to my best favorite. That doesn't make sense. My least favorite to my favorite. Yeah, clearly I forget how to speak English most of the time. At the bottom, starting off, is gonna be season 2. The first season was kind of a new cool thing, like it was when it was new, it's like the original of a movie. And then the second one was kind of the sequel. It was a good sequel, but because of the first one, it didn't really live up to the whole hype, I guess, the standard, in my opinion anyway. I think that's when they officially introduced like the celebrity segment where they have famous people come on. Season 2, it's at the bottom for me. I don't know, I guess I was kind of expecting a little bit more of something new. Not that they have to make the show entertaining or good. I just maybe thought they would introduce something new, which they did with the celebrity segment, but I'm really not here for that. To be honest with you, that's kind of my least favorite part of like the entire series. I'm here for the cars, kind of, like I don't really care about the whole celebrity thing. Out of the 4, that's where I'm gonna have to put it. Taking up the next spot, the number 3, the first of the top step of podiums, if you will, is actually gonna be season 1. I know you're probably thinking I might have ranked this a little bit higher, but hear me out. Obviously season 1, that was a debut season. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of lunge coming back up. Now, obviously that's the hypest season. That's the one that everyone was looking forward to. Clean slate, you know, blank slate, clean start. That's what I should have said. This could just be my own kind of bias or, I don't know, feelings coming into it because it was like the new season. Up until like the end of the first season, everything was still kind of new. They had pretty much free reign to do whatever they could. Obviously there's a whole big drama between BBC, Clarkson, and the gang. So yeah, it was just nice to see how that all kind of played out and how it became this cool thing with like the whole moving show. They're in a mobile tent, but they still have a live audience. They have like a couple different segments, but they mainly have car-focused stuff, which is again what obviously we're there for, other than the actual people presenting the show, because I don't think there's ever been a show where the presenters or the hosts have a better chemistry together. At least all the shows that I've seen, I think those guys probably have the best dynamic between them. So we could watch them do anything. I mean, what haven't they done really? They've done like everything short of space travel and deep sea diving. The 2 things that most people are kind of afraid of to explore, I guess. And I think a highlight of season 1 for me was a season 1 highlight for me was definitely the Namibia special, which to me was really cool. It was stretched across 2 episodes. If I did my math right, I think it was actually the 2nd longest special that they had in the entire Grand Tour series. Most of my favorite Top Gear and Grand Tour episodes were the ones where they're in older used cars that are cheaper, broken, you know, serve a specific purpose. Like they're trying to prove a point, where they travel to like other countries and they drive through deserts and jungles and forests. I think that might be another reason why season 2 is actually lower than season 1, because it doesn't really have any memorable specials that I can think of. Season 1, really good, putting it at number 3, takes that 3rd step in the podium. So coming up to number 2, and I think I could switch between season 1 and season 4 for the 2nd and 3rd spot. They're kind of interchangeable. I have it set in my mind, at least for now, that season 4 is actually my number 2 favorite season for the Grand Tour. And that's because, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, I'm all about the specials. I love the smaller episodes where they kind of jump from one car to another, where they review a new car that everyone's hyped up about. I love all that stuff, but again, I'm just one for the specials, I guess. Everybody loves special things. Season 4 pretty much comprised of all just specials, which in my mind is great. Now they did kind of taper off a little for me, especially in their latest release. I think there was a little bit of, not controversy, but some opinions being thrown around that it wasn't really up to snuff, up to par with the rest of the Grand Tour show, which I don't know, it's hard to blame them for. I mean, you know, we had COVID for the last 2 years. The highlight of the season was definitely the boating episode in Vietnam. It was really cool to see them sort of like out of their element in like a new sort of setting. I think that might have been the first time in probably the whole series, at least that I can think of right now, where I thought like, oh, they're doing something like new. Like this isn't new, this is new, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a lot of people didn't like that episode because it wasn't cars, and it wasn't car related. They had to like help each other out. At times they refused to help each other out, which is hilarious all the time when they do that. And they were sort of like in a new element, and obviously some of the guys liked it more than the others, or were used to it more than the others, and they were kind of thrown into a different culture as well for parts of the episode, which is always awesome to see. I mean, to see like another country's, I don't even know what you call it, another country's normal life where they walk through stores and stuff and drive down their random roads and stop at random hotels and places where they just see something funny and point it out. I just love that, you know, you get to see a little bit more of the world and you get to see it from their perspective too. The first three I really liked. I'd say Vietnam I liked the most. Scotland and Madagascar were kind of interchangeable, I guess, for how much I liked them. And then the French one was definitely on the bottom for me. Only thing that sucked about it was the time between the episodes. It sucks that we have to wait that long, but also we have 2.5 decades of their work to look back on if we want to go back and watch some stuff from before. So yeah, number 2 is season 4. And that brings us to the last spot, the top spot in my hierarchy, season 3. And season 3 was perfect for me, if I had to say that, which I don't, but I will. It was perfect for me. There was no like celebrity segment or interview segment that I wasn't really interested in from the beginning anyway. This one had the most episodes, which is always a good thing. I mean, sometimes more is just better. But my number one reason why I like season 3 the most, if you were following this video at all, you probably know what I'm about to say. They just had specials galore. They had the Colombia special, which was I think stretched between 2 episodes, which was awesome. I think that one is actually the longest one as well, if you put them both together. It had the American RV special, which again was terrific. They had sort of a Chinese special. I don't think it was an actual full like special, but they used the same 3 cars throughout the entire episode. Spoiler alert, until Richard's car broke down and became irreparable, not repairable, broken, basically, busted, you know, toast before it became a pile of junk, basically, which some people might argue it already was before. They also had the Georgia special where they took the 3 brand new cars. At that point, they were brand new across the desert. They got to show them off a little bit. They got to drive them through all these interesting places. They had the Detroit episode, which again, I'm not sure if it was a special, but they did stay in the city the whole time. Before the actual Scotland special in season 4, they had another like mini Scotland special. And they also had my favorite episode ever, I think, in any Top Gear and Grand Tour series ever. I think this might be like my favorite piece of media with all 3 of them in it, which was the Mongolia special. That had all the elements I love about a Grand Tour / Top Gear special elevated, which is basically they're kind of surviving the terrain that they're in. They have to deal with each other, which is always hilarious, but they have to deal with each other more because they're sharing a car. They built the car, which is, I don't know, the epitome of car modification is building the car literally from the ground up. They had the survival element, and they also had beautiful, gorgeous landscape shots. There was so much variety in the different types of terrain that they had to go through. The only con of season 3 for me, honestly, was that it had to end, and it was really emotional when it ended. If you've seen the show, you know the part I'm talking about. Actually, I think it's actually making like rounds in the news now for some reason. I don't know why. Also, I think there was another element of that where I cherished season 3 a little more because it was also kind of the last of the normal formatted show, if you will. So yeah, I think there was a lot of kind of sentimental attachment to it. Before I shed a tear, I better end this video. The comment section is always open for you guys to let me know what your favorite episode was, what your favorite series was, maybe even just what your favorite moment was, or just something that you thought was like super funny in the show. I love talking about the show. Let's just talk about the show in the comments. If you want to disagree that the show is great and amazing, then definitely drop that as well, so that we can be like 2 keyboard warriors, you know, trying to fight each other off angrily, like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what makes a good show, or, you know, whatever. That's it for this one. Thank you for commenting if you did. Thank you for liking the video if you liked the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'm still alive by then. Peace out. Bye.